Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. Well, I was going to go fishing to the local river today. Unfortunately, it rained overnight and right into this morning, and not too many clouds over there, but up behind me here, there's quite a few clouds. So came down to a local pond. This is the one I call the mystery pond, because when I first started fishing it, it was a mystery. Yeah, no rocket science there, was there? Anyway, I haven't fished this swim before, so I thought I'd come down today and I thought I'd just do a bit of easy waggler fishing. The plan is not to fish any more than sort of 1 or 2 rod lengths out, but also to do some margin fishing with the waggler. Now I know, yes, I can do that with a pole a lot more effectively, but not everybody's got a pole. So what we're going to do today is just show you some really, hopefully, some really easy waggler fishing, not very far out, and also down in the margins. So what I've done, I've put a 2.5 AA waggler on, which is what, 2 grams? Yeah, 5/8 is 40, 5.8. Anyway, whatever, it's 2.5 AA. Can't do all this posh stuff. I've just set the float to what I think is about the depth, and I've put a plummet on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it down in front of me here, just so you can see. Now it's very, very shallow in the edge. There's the bottom there. Again there. So I'm already way over 1 metre out, and all of a sudden you see it drops right off like that. And I'm assuming it does the same further down, but I will plumb that a bit later. So yeah, we're looking at, yeah, I wasn't far off with it. As I say, I've fished this place before, so go a bit further out. It's actually a little bit shallower maybe there as well. So it looks like what we've got is a very shallow edge, then it shoots down like that, and then it flattens out. And normally the bottom in here is mud, and I know that because I had to go after my rod one time, but that's another story. On this bank, as you can see from these images, we've got a load of rocks and stones and whatever, and so what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to plumb up down the edge a bit further down, probably what would be about a top 2 plus 2 if you were fishing with a pole, which is what, 7 meters or so down the way. Don't want to fish too close to me, obviously, because I'll be hopefully catching some fish and they'll be coming down here. So if I just put that in just there, there's the bottom, and I can feel rocks on the bottom, and that's why I'm using the heavy plummet. You can see it's going right down, and that's the end of the rod, so a little bit further. Yeah, same depth out there, look. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plumb up a bit further out there, and then I'm going to plumb sort of, let's actually do that for you so you can see. I'm going to plumb something just about there. Oh yeah, that's about the same, look. And again, I'm already stuck on the rock. So this is going to be fun. And now you can see it's right, there's the bottom with the float sticking up. I'll do the same on the other side. So the plan is we'll fish 1 or 2 rod lengths out in front of me to start with, see if we can get a few fish, then we'll come down the margins and we'll see if we can catch a few down there. Okay, so I'm all set up. As I said, I've got a 2.5 AA float on with a little insert tip. I've got the bulk of my shots around the float as usual. I've got 1, 2, 3 number 6s dropping. Now this number 6, you probably can't see it, but that's literally a couple of inches from the hook. You wouldn't normally do that, of course. But today we're probably going to catch some of those little crucian lookalikes that I talk about quite often. And those things dip their heads down and sit back up, and you don't see the bite. And by having that telltale shot just there, I've talked about this before, but for those of you that haven't seen what I'm talking about, there's the telltale shot, fish comes down, lifts up the bait, that lifts the shot, and you get a lift bite on the float. It's a lot easier to see those than it is those silly little, when you've got to dot your float down, because I can't dot the float down. Otherwise, if I do, that camera down there, the zoom camera, can't see the float. So I'm kind of having to compromise a little bit. Also, you'll notice I've got 3 number 6s down, as I said. A lot of times you would use, say, number 8s or number 9s or even number 10s. That's if you were going to catch on the drop. The fish in these places It's a natural venue. It's Den's Mystery Pond. Haven't fished it for quite a while, but nobody else ever fishes it. The fish don't know to come up in the water, and you rarely see fish up in the water, and you never catch them on the drop. On the drop. Bait wise, I've just got a few tins of corn. I'll probably only use one. I've got some bread, and I've got ground bait over here, and I've also got some micros to put in it. And that's it for the day. I'm just going to start off. I'm going to cast out 2 pieces of corn on the hook. Now, if I remember rightly in this place, as I say, I haven't fished it for a while, they do like some pudding, some bait. So if I cast out just gently, okay, sink the line, and hopefully that's come up. Yay! It's just come up in the viewfinder there. So what we're going to do now, and literally as far as I'm out, it's, if I lift up, it's 1-2 turns and that's it. That's as far out as I'm fishing. You could do that with probably a top 2 plus 3 on a pole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these micros into the ground bait, which obviously you can't see at the moment, but I'm going to put a ball of ground bait in, literally micros and ground bait, and just put a ball in down there. In fact, I'm probably going to put 2 or 3 down there, because they do seem to like it here. Not like Den's Pond where they don't like being fed at all. As I say, if I remember rightly, in this place they really do like this stuff. So I brought plenty with me. Just a squeeze, it doesn't have to be a hard squeeze. I'll probably put a few pellets out as well. Pellets? Not pellets, I haven't got pellets. Corn. There we go. Right, so that's it. Now I'm going to just do the same down in the margins, only on that side to start with, see how we go, and hopefully we'll have a few fish out of here whilst this is sort of getting going, because I've found down the edge quite often over here you need them to get confident. So I'll put some bait in down there and we'll leave that for a while and we'll try and concentrate on this one. Right. Oh. That was quick. Literally, I leaned down to sort out my phone, and look at that. That's a scale off a mirror by the look of it. Reel was going backwards, and literally that had been in for seconds. So it does seem that the old ground bait's doing the trick. As I say, this is a natural venue, so don't think commercial here. Right, let's get this back out there. I'll just keep trickling a few bits of corn in. No need for catapults and anything complicated today. While I'm waiting for the next bite, I'll just put a small ball into each of the margin swims as well. Look for a marker, and maybe about there, maybe a bit further. Can't be too accurate with the throwing as you can with the pole, but yeah, that's about sort of thing. Watching for the float there at the moment. Same on this side, same distance out and everything. Give it a couple of balls. Only smallish, look. Right. Hopefully this swim will build up and we'll catch plenty. Thought that might have been a lift there just for a second. Again, it could just be fish swirling around it, not taking the bait. I do find in here that they actually take bread better than the corn sometimes, so we might try that in a minute just to see how we go. So, a couple of 10mm pieces on the hook. Bit doughy this bread, unfortunately, it's not the best. As I said the last video, Warburton's Toasty if you're in the UK. That's always the one to go for. And let's see if this makes a difference. Sometimes I put that ground bait in like that and literally as soon as it hits the bottom the float goes under. Maybe I should just use ground bait on the... In fact, what I must do one day is come down here and try paste fishing on the pole. That'll be a good one. Must remember that one. That's a bit of a lift, look. Yay! Not a big one. I've had them up to about 16 pounds out of here in the past. Whoops. And they certainly don't want to give up. I'll give them that. Probably only about 8 ounces or so, maybe a little bit more. And the hooks come out. See what I said about fishing with the bread? It's all about chopping and changing things. If one thing doesn't work, try something different. In this case, it looks like the bread could be the way to go again today. 2 pieces of 10mm again, and we'll just do exactly the same again. Just making sure that you can see it on this camera because it's so annoying when things move. I was watching a Jamie Harrison video yesterday actually, and he was doing a live match. Can't remember where it was, pool something or other, but anyway, and he mentioned how difficult it can be to film and fish a match at the same time, because in his case he's changing batteries and all the rest of it, and obviously SD cards. I've actually lashed mine up so that I've got a big battery attached, so I don't quite have the same problems, but I do have all sorts of glitches, as you probably see me struggle with before. But fair play to him. He came second on that one. I think it was Poolswood, something like that. I'm just still feeding some sweet corn because you never know, they may come onto that later on, but either way it's some particle bait out there, isn't it? The other thing to remember, of course, is to keep feeding the margin swims. That was a bit of a bob I just saw there, and it's going to go under. Yep. It's like I always say, guys, fishing don't need to be rocket science, does it? You don't need to have all the best kit. You can just get by with one rod and really enjoy yourself. I have to admit, I really do like Waggler fishing. The old style stuff, this stuff on the bottom. I also like to fish shallow, but they don't come up shallow over here, do they? I'll get this next bit of bait onto the hook, and then we'll see about feeding those 2 margin swims again. Don't neglect them. No point in just putting a pile of bait in to start with and then expecting them to be there. And just remember, we aren't fishing a commercial. On a commercial, you'd normally only fish the margin very often towards the end of the match or the end of the day, because they're so used to bait being thrown in and they come into the edge for it. Here they don't see bait, like I've said before. I think I'll put a few bits of corn in with this ground bait along with the micros. They don't see any bait at all because nobody else fishes this pond except me. It can get a bit lonely being me sometimes, I tell you. So yeah, they don't know to come in, and they could come in at any time, but as I've said, I want to keep them in the swim and getting confident, because again, they are native species, not native, they are species that have been introduced over here actually, but let's get that out of there. But they can be very skittish, they aren't used to baits. Got the clutch set fairly light, as you just saw, or probably heard from the clicking there. Because when you're fairly close in, you're quite liable to end up with a screamer. And it's only a tiny little fish as well. Look at that. I reckon if that's 6 ounces, that's all it is. Wow. Fish over here just don't give up. Haven't had any of the crucian lookalikes yet. They've all been carp so far, and all nice and neatly hooked in the mouth. Whoops. There we are, look. As I say, keep the feed going in. Little and often is better than a huge amount at once. What you do is fish according to the bites, that's what we often say. If you're getting very few bites, don't feed quite so much or quite as often. If you're getting lots of bites, you can feed a bit more and more often. And again, that's an experience thing. You get to be able to gauge it according to how many bites you're getting. And this guy's hugging something. I think there's a snag down there or something. Or, alternatively, I've got a feeling this isn't. I thought it wasn't. It's not a fish. It's a turtle. And I appear to have caught it in the back leg. Which is not the plan. Turtles can be a real pain here. Let's see if we can sort him out. There we go. Just grab his leg. Hold still. Yeah, hold still. Trying to drag his leg in. Oh, I can't get to the... Right, that's got it. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see that all that well, but there you go, turtle. He'll go back none the worse for wear. Barbless hook. He'll just swim off out of the way. They can be a real pain down here. But he didn't take the bait, he just got in the way. I think we'll try a couple of bits of corn again now. We've been feeding it. See what happens. Just the 2 bits again. Chop and change. Oops. I think we'll have a cup of tea in a minute. I think we've been going for about half an hour or so. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 12:25. So what's that? Just over half an hour or so. Had a few fish already, eh? I think that's a bite. It was a bite. Not much of a bite, but it was a bite. Like old Bill used to say, Bill Allen, easy fishing. Whoops. Jumped straight out the net again. None of this giving up thing. They fight like crazy over here. Oh, we're not catching huge fish today, are we? But hey, we're catching plenty. Looking down at the camera, making sure I was getting the bites. Couldn't see the float. And now you know why. Come on, out of there. Come on. This way, that's it. Got to be careful I don't hit that camera down there with the landing net. See what I mean about these fish? So much power. They're only just coming out of winter. Look at that. He'll get to the net and he'll lurch off again, you watch. There he goes. Come on, fish. And there we are. They always try and dodge out of the net as soon as you put them in. That's probably the biggest one we've caught so far. I'd say that was 4 pounds. Again, nicely in the side of the mouth. There we are. It didn't take much once I got the disgorger on, but it's a bit of a pain when your hands don't work too well. But yeah, I reckon he's probably 4 pounds. And the old sweet corn's working now. Keep feeding, like I said. This wind seems to be getting a bit stronger again. The other day I ended up with it howling a gale. It's very easy to forget to feed the edges, especially when you're catching well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slow down on feeding that one. Trying to feed 3 swims is a bit of a pain. Just put a ball out there just to see how we go. While we're catching well on this one, we'll continue and we'll try that one over there next because the cameras are looking down that way. And hopefully we can get some good shots. There you go, you see, that was a lift bite, wasn't it? And then it fell off. Right, I'm gonna give it another go on the bread, and then if things are still quite slow, I'm gonna rest this swim and I'm gonna have a go down to the right there. I won't put the zoom camera on it just straight away because it's a real pain to try and find floats in these conditions with the camera. If I do catch down there, I'll put it down so you can see what's what, but we shall see. Let's just try this bread for a second. Definitely slowing down a bit out there, but that's not a surprise. I mean, normally I'd be chopping and changing with a couple of lines if it was a match, but as I said, today is purely about just easy fishing, not very far out, nothing complicated. I will just put one more ball in down there before I go down the other side. Slightly larger than before. Rest that for a little bit and we'll go in down the side. And I'll do down the side, I'll do that with corn to start with, I think. But something you need to be aware of, you won't be able to actually see it properly, but I'll explain it. Put the hook in the keeper there. And what I did when I plumbed the depth, my far rig, far distance one, there's a white mark there, and it's actually only a couple of inches shallower where I need to be on the inside on the margin. So what I'm going to do is, oh sorry, I'm going to just use this stick. This is some sort of ends on line marker pen, but I've used it on my rod. That'll be fine. Just move these shots down. Oops. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, so we'll get some corn on, we'll have a go down the inside there and see what happens. As I say, I'll move the zoom camera if we start to get bites down there. Well, nothing there yet. Maybe they don't want to know about the margins today. Yes. Ooh, that's a good fish. Look at the size of him. Woohoo! He just swam towards me to start with. He'll wake up in a minute, this guy. Whoa, told you. He's not gonna be coming in easy. Yeah, he's just taking the line off the clip. Now I've got the clutch set a little bit looser than I sometimes do, but it's still not that loose. It's a decent fish, this one. I wasn't sure what it was at first because it just came towards me, as you saw. I'll take my time with it, I think. This is when you need that ACS clip, isn't it? It unclips itself. And you've seen how the other fish didn't take line. So, as I said, this clutch is not set loosely. But just don't panic. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Okay. Are we going to be ready yet? I don't think we are. You always get a second lease of life under your feet. See what I mean? He's going straight through the baited area. Nice fish. Oof. He's obviously tiring, but come on, fish. Stop messing me about. These are the sorts of things that really can build your weight in a match, but at the same time, they take longer to get in. So it's a bit of a swings and roundabouts. Should we get the net ready? You usually bolt about here. Yeah, like that, but luckily it was in the net. That'll do me. That's a good fish. That is a really good fish. I think we'll weigh this one. I'll just throw that down there. Grab the scales. Now this landing net weighs 1 pound 3 ounces. So we'll take that off it. And we have got 13 pounds 1. So it's just under 12 pounds. And that is a nice fish. I'll see if we can show him to you. But I don't want to damage him. Look at that. Well, just goes to show, doesn't it, what you can do with a Waggler rod. Well, it looks like that, given that a rest, seems to have paid off, because we are catching fish out there, and I don't know how big this one is. It's a decent fish again. Yeah, decent fish. Doesn't know it's hooked, I don't think. Yeah, bit of a rest. Go down there. I know we didn't catch anything down the margins, but that's okay. Sometimes you just have to give a swim a bit of a rest to let the fish settle down again. And it looks like these big things have turned up. He's not doing these spectacular runs, this guy, is he? Maybe he's still feeling the after effects of winter. You watch. I'll get the landing net out and this guy will wake up. Just need to be careful still. Is he going to do it? Oh. Well, that was a bit of a feeble fight for a big fish, wasn't it? Look at his tail sticking out. Oh, that's another good fish. That might even be heavier, I don't know. Oh, great big gob. Yeah, strong when he wants to be. Come on, grip it then, grip it. Let's get these scales again. So, we are at £13.4, so he's £12.1, so he's about an ounce or two different to that other one. Wow. I won't get this one out, guys. I mean, you've seen good fish already today. You can't complain at this though, can you? Well, looks like we're staying on the bread. I wonder if that margin line will come good. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But again, it could just be the conditions on the day after all that rain, barometric pressure, whatever. But I don't care, because I'm catching at what, a rod and a half length out, and I'm catching well. Oops, make sure I've got the anti-reverse off. Never remember which way it is. Okay, and we're in shot. Let's see if we can get another one. Still got water on this screen, which is not good. That's a bob, and he took off a bit more. Talk about explosive, this guy. Whoa! What a difference between two fish. Mind you, he is a lot smaller. But even so, try and keep him out of the baited area. Itchy eyes. I'm starting to get hay fever again. Not even all that big, is he? But the bite was pretty immediate. Right. Try not to get water on your screen this time, Dan. Oh, he's only just hooked that guy. Probably a couple of pound. Well, I wasn't expecting it to be this good on that line today. Not complaining, obviously. I would have hoped we'd have got something down in the margins, and we still might. They might just turn up. Just keep feeding. Bites are coming reasonably well now, so pretty much, I don't know, ball of chuck, something like that. In fact, this time I'm going to give it 2 small balls. Spread things out a little bit. And right down to the tip on the float already. I don't know if that's a drag on the line from the toe or what. I can just still see the float. The problem is, as I said, we've got all these stones and things down there, so I don't know if it's sort of hooked up on something. We'll just give it a flick. There we are. That's a bit better. I think it was probably just hooked on a stone or something, being pulled by the toe. I'd be surprised if we got too many just now down here. It's been hectic since I went back, and yeah, all that disturbance could easily spook them. As I keep saying, not a commercial. They don't know what bait is, so they can spook somewhat easier. Nope, slowed down a little bit again now, so as before. Bit of bait in there. I've put some corn in the ground bait, as I said. Got plenty of micro pellets in there, and put that in, and then we'll try down the side there. I think that bait may be good. Probably about there, I think. Now this time, again, keep changing things around. I've left it at full depth, which is of course only 3 or 4 inches less than out there. Less than out here. So that might just make a difference with the toe. Definitely thought that was a bite there. Let's give it another go. They may have turned up, you never know. There's me expecting the big ones on the inside, but those two 12-pounders, who knows how big they go, eh? If this was the height of summer, they'd have torn off into the middle. Okay. Probably about there, I think. Just dragging that shot along the bottom now so that the rig sort of presents itself a bit better. Yes. What have we got here? Whoa! Whoa! He's off, isn't he? He really did shoot off. Try not to get... Oh, he's already taken the line off the clip. Coming around. Off to the left now. There's a bay up that side there. He's got some go, this guy. Oh. It's definitely not a 12-pounder, is he? But yeah, didn't he go? Didn't he go? Is that them turned up down on the inside? I've been here probably, hang on, let's have a look. 1:30, so what's that? Not quite 2 hours. Was it 11:45 I started? So 1:45, we swallowed it. So yeah, had a few fish, don't we? Don't know how many we've had, but it's a few, isn't it? And I can't complain even if they disappeared on me now. Let's get him back. Get out of the net. Okay, we'll go back in down the bottom there. Ah, well, they're still not very obliging down the side there, are they? So we've given that swim a bit of a rest now. We'll go back out there and have a go at that. That's a lift and a sink. Yep, there we go. You see a lift up? Surprised we haven't had any of those crucian lookalikes today, but not so far. Which is fine. Happy enough with catching big carp and small carp, like this one. No idea how many we've caught. Sometimes you think, should have used the keep net. Get more of an idea. Oh, he swallowed it. Where are you? Oh yeah. Yeah, not bad. Well, it does rather look like we're going to be catching on that further out swim. When I say further out swim, we're probably only looking at 7 or 8 meters, if that. But we're catching well, and it's turning into a slightly brighter day, so I ain't complaining. Keep saying that, because I probably do complain quite a lot. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, and away we go again. Just keep checking the... Yep. I like to make sure you guys get bites. Had a new viewer came on one of the comments the other day, said when you were doing that slider fishing one, the float went under and it was like virtual fishing. I nearly struck. I think we all love the float going under, don't we? Yay. Straight in, straight under. I'd stopped getting bites down on the, we'll call it the main line down there, and so I literally just chucked it in there as you just saw, and around it went. Around, under. Come on. As with all of these things, you can't expect a swim to produce all day in the same area. You sometimes just have to mix it up a bit. And quite often, if I hadn't been just trying to show you this thing about catching short, I would have probably worked my way further out on the Waggler, in addition to doing the sides. I'd have had a bit of a plan going. But as I said at the start, this was about fishing short, so that's what I've been doing. Probably £2 that one. I've been feeding down here still, and maybe they've now turned up. That's 2 fish in 2 casts. I've put a little bit of feed down that side too, but to be honest, I'm only going to give this a sort of a 3-hour session, something like that. Probably not even that actually. These days I like to come out, enjoy myself in short bursts, not overtax the aged body, and just enjoy myself. And definitely today that's what I'm doing. Oops, I thought he jumped out the net then. Just take up that slack. As I say, with the wind, you get all kinds of knots turning up. He's probably £1.5, but pristine fish of course as always. Let's put him back. Oof, off he went, look. Oh, I've got my cup of tea as well, that's probably what's done it. Always get a bite when you have a cup of tea. I think we'll have a few more casts, see what happens. And then get back to the best wife in the world ever. See how her day's been. That's something. Yay! Well, I don't know what this is, but it's pulling. Stuck on something down there. We're moving again. I think this is a bit more lumpy than the last couple. Come on. Seems they've turned up down the margin, doesn't it? Come on, fish. In we go. Oh! Yay! Another good fish. Wow. Yep, we'll weigh this one as well, and I reckon it's probably around about the same as the last two. Just throw that down there and grab this. Well, what a day for decent sized fish, eh? 0. And we are at You're not going to believe this. It's £13, 5 ounces, which is what, an ounce or so bigger than the other ones. Great big gobs on them. Let's have a quick look. Look at that though, eh? Isn't that a fish? Oh. That'd be right, wouldn't it? I just put it out there after that last big fish to check that the thing was recording properly on this camera, and of course it's disappeared. Oh, come on. I just hope you're getting audio, because that's what I was about to check. I noticed that the wireless microphone was a bit low this morning, so I attached the battery, but I'm just hoping that I've got all recordings on this. As I say, Jamie Harrison had the same problem with glitches and things. It's the last thing you want on days like today when you're having such a good day. Come on. Funny how some of them fight really well and some of them really just give up on you. It's not even all that big, look. Wow. What a fight from a fish like that. As someone once commented, Ferrari carp den, Ferrari carp. Come on. Get in the net. Getting blasé now, aren't I? There we are. Whew. I still haven't managed to drink the rest of that tea. He's probably only, what, £5? 4 even. Not much at all. Some baiting in all the usual places. Now we're going to have to just chop and change around a little bit, because I'm sure at this point they're getting a little bit spooky all over everywhere. Putting a fair bit down this side. Right. Do you want a bite? Yay! Oh, bounced it again. Oh, got a scale. But anyway, look, I'm going to have to pack up. Hopefully, you've seen how easy it can be to catch well on the Waggler, and just catching short as well. I was probably, what, a rod and a half length out all day. You can do this on commercials easily, and obviously this being a natural venue, you can do it on here too. And it's really just one of the most enjoyable ways to fish. But anyway, that's it for another one, I'm afraid, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you did, click the like button for me, please. If you want to subscribe, that's great. Oh, and we've just reached 12,000 subscribers, so thank you very, very much indeed for that. Anyway, that's it then. See you later.